All right, quiet in the studio. Isn't it great to get rid of the raven? Here we go. All right, let's start this off. Well, good evening. And we've just had a wonderful podcast with our fabulous Scottish correspondent, the Cutter. And now we're moving on to the specials. Say hello, Trevor Nichols, a.k.a. the Gazelle. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our special, which will be very, very special.
It will be. It's about popular culture. Go ahead, Statsman.
Hello again. How are we?
Keep
it short and sweet, I think.
I know. Steve had to go. Right.
Boo.
Yeah, we're not sorry about that. No, what do you mean,
he
boo?
had to milk the goat.
He had to milk the goat. What? No, he's in Bournemouth. He's not in the country. Oh, there you go. Anyway, all right, okay. This is about preserving our Indigenous identity and culture. This is part 6, and this is about popular culture. And this is a series of specials that we've been doing about trying to preserve everything that is anything to do with this country. And I don't know how successful we've been so far. What do you think, Stats?
We've given some answers, but it's not us who can implement them, is it, really? So
yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
But the answers are there.
All right. Well, look, I'll open things up, okay? I just feel that this is a topic of great importance. This is the influence of popular culture and its alleged toxicity, driven by materialism and identity politics. And I think that we're living in an era where entertainment holds significant sway over our society. I think it's crucial to examine the impact it has on our collective consciousness. All right? Now, there are those who would argue that popular culture has become poisonous, poisoned by the relentless pursuit of materialism. And it can be claimed that the relentless consumerism depicted in movies, music, and advertisements promotes a shallow and materialistic mindset, leaving us trapped in a cycle of constant desire and dissatisfaction. There you go. Is that a good opening for everybody? Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah,
that's good.
So what are we going to start with entertainment then, I think?
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll go with music. Cool. Where do we start with this one? Who should be an expert? I'm going to start with the quality of music.
Okay.
It's gone downhill, hasn't it, to be honest?
It's all samey.
We had the glory years, didn't we? I think 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s were fantastic for music.
Yeah.
Think of all the bands and all the artists. Wow. You're still listening to them today?
Yes.
My question is, will you be listening to today's music in the future?
No.
I don't know.
That's the biggest thing.
I've noticed some of the young people actually more enjoy the older music now.
It's throwaway
I
stuff.
agree with their stats, but just one observation. I'd only say 60s, 70s, maybe 80s. I'm struggling with 90s.
Well, I grew up in the 90s, you see, so I'm a little biased.
Right. Yeah, I can understand that. But I'd definitely say certainly 70s, 80s, because that's being just used.
Well, is there still something British about music today?
I don't know. All I see is it promoting sex and violence more and more as the years go by. And the message as well. It's getting pumped out, isn't it?
I think the message. Their stats, yeah. And I've got to go over to Sam Smith on that.
Oh, don't. I mean, what kind of a message is that guy sending?
That, but I'm sorry, but this is the way it's going.
Okay.
It's got to be stopped.
Remember, Trev, when music used to be about love?
Yeah.
Yes.
Love, and people played instruments.
That's right. Played real instruments.
It's not like that now.
They weren't manufactured.
No.
It was not about political messages. It was all about love, life, everything, wasn't it?
I think some of the left-wing artists and bands have been pumping out political messages, but it didn't really affect anything, did it? It wasn't affecting children.
Well, the big thing was when you went to Glastonbury and you had one of the bands saying, "Say it loud, say it clear, refugees are welcome here." And did you see the size of the walls around Glastonbury?
Slightly hypocritical.
Yeah. You know, I mean, how many refugees were actually there attending the event?
No, I
Probably the majority of the crowd, they got all free.
I think someone said the majority of the crowd were white.
Yes, well, that was the other thing. It wasn't very diverse, and it was rumored that there were 600 BBC employees there attending the event. What I want to know is how many of the government parliamentarians were there on free tickets. It's something to actually check out. To actually see why they were there. What was the purpose of it? I mean, was it, that they are there were they actually helping their constituents by being there?
I don't mind these concerts, to be honest. I think, look what's happened to music. It used to be you listen to music. Now it's become this visual thing, which I think's probably come from America, maybe, MTV and all this. And you've got to have a mansion and sports cars and bitches and hoes and guns. And really, are they decent role models for our children? That's what we should be asking ourselves.
No, I would agree with you.
I don't think so.
Well, this is where it sort of moves across, because music and also the way that it's portrayed on TV and in broadcast and the stories that comes across, it starts to involve identity politics.
It does. Do you remember when TV just had 3 channels, John?
Yep.
I think back then it was original.
And no remote controls.
No,
somebody had to get up and move.
Yeah.
And
mess with the aerial.
If something was wrong, yep.
It was original though, wasn't it? And it was funny as well. It was about entertainment. The family would sit around and watch these shows, and you're still talking about them to this day.
Yep.
What were the kids going to talk about in the future? Flash in the pan YouTube channels that were there one day and gone
disappeared the next, yeah.
I don't think so. And as you said, it's just more woke and politically influenced garbage, isn't it? We used to have amazing sitcoms, didn't we? Think about like Fawlty Towers and like Only Fools and Horses. What's left now? It's not funny anymore.
It's not funny. Also, there used to be things like you'd see Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah, comedy
on
sketches.
TV and comedy sketches. Yeah. And then you'd see them at the night time and they'd both be sitting in bed reading the paper. Nobody questioned. Nobody said, are they homosexual?
No. What about game shows as well? We used to have some corkers, didn't you? The whole family would sit around, watch Bullseye and stuff like that. Now what you've got, it looks like a 2p machine, just glorified. You're like, what's that?
Yeah, I agree.
They're scraping their battle for that, aren't they, to be honest? But
I don't know what the TV stations are doing, but do you think the TV and the broadcasters are actually being utilized to get political messages across?
Well, definitely. When you look at the soaps, I mean, through COVID, they were pushing the message. They're always pushing the identity message about different races. It's just, they're called programs, or maybe it's programming. It's just non-stop now. And it's literally, I don't think many people really actually watch TV. Not many people I speak to. I think
still
it's a
big
dying
money.
breed, to be honest.
Still big money. They're still attracting big money.
It is, but you've got your subscription things now, so people can go and pick and choose what they watch rather than just watching whatever was on.
Well, then from that bigger picture then, Mark, do you think, like companies like Netflix and Amazon, do you think they're exerting any kind of influence from the programming that they're making?
Well, they're starting to do the same now, aren't they? You see? But then people have the choice. They can just switch off. Again, the whole family used to sit around and watch one program, where now everyone's in different rooms watching different things. I think it's breaking down social cohesion as well, to be honest. But
so what we're talking about is, do you think that popular culture has turned toxic with identity politics?
Definitely.
Okay, so would you argue that popular culture has become saturated with divisive narratives?
Oh, most certainly. They're always pitting each other against one another, aren't they? In one way or another. If it's not your race, it's your sexuality or your gender or what political side of the equation you're on.
But some of the programs and some of the films haven't actually hit home with the audiences because, like, for example, they included lesbian scenes in certain cartoons.
Problem we've got, John, is the films are mostly made in America, aren't they?
They didn't work.
So their culture's influencing ours by what films they make. And at the minute, these just seem to be remaking all the old classics, but turn them into woke disasters.
Correct. That's the point I was going to make. And it doesn't work, does it?
No, when you got black actors playing white historical figures, not vice versa.
It doesn't work.
No.
Do you think, I'll put this to Trevor, Do you think it's crucial to strike a balance in our consumption of popular culture, Trevor?
Yeah, I do, because the adverts that we've been seeing lately, it's not real life. They're forcing
interracial marriages on TV.
Interracial marriages. And I saw the other day, which I found really odd. There was an advert. I can't remember what it was. I can't say an advert about gays because that doesn't sound right. But they put on this interracial grey partnership with a black bloke and a white bloke who were gay.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, stop it.
With 82% of the population in this country straight, heterosexual, why are they doing this? Why is every advert got to include somebody from another race or, an interracial marriage?
82%. And I have never seen, this might sound controversial, and a lot of people probably won't like it, but I've never ever seen an advert with a Chinese with a Pakistani person.
Yeah. Oh, no, they wouldn't like that.
I haven't seen that. Why? Tell me why.
I don't like Sundays.
It's not good for marketing in China. That's why. I'll be honest and say exactly what it is. This is all to make money, this, Trev.
Yep.
And what they do is they're going to bleed the new market, which they see as the LGBT and whatever else goes along with that. It's probably profit for these companies. They're just thinking, what market can we tap into now? But as the owners of Bud Light found out, it doesn't work.
No. They found
a
a
target
big
audience,
style.
And you need to stick to that and appeal to them, not the minority.
And the sooner the better, that keeps backfiring. Yeah.
Well, 29 billion they lost off their shares.
Yeah, good.
Go woke, go broke. Brilliant.
Yeah. And it has worked that way. It's worked out with other companies as well. They know it.
Yeah.
Wix.
Again, that's bad management, isn't it? Because you wouldn't, if you're selling products for children, you wouldn't advertise it aimed at adults, would you? It's just stupidity.
Yeah, stupidity.
It's simple business, and they're not very good at it. So.
Well, okay, so we talked about music. We talked about broadcast. Now let's go on to that other version of broadcast, news and media. And you got to ask yourself the question, has the news and media landscape become politically biased?
Do we really need to answer that?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Can I just pick up on this one? I mean,
yeah,
I'm going to ask that. Where are we going to be in? I don't know. Let's project ourselves 10 years, right? Where are we going to be in 10 years if we follow this pattern that we keep following? Now, is the media changing? And I think it is. Yes, hopefully. We've got a couple of new channels, haven't we? We've got Talk TV, we've got GB News, and most certainly we've got online channels.
Well, Mayor Tusi is one of them. There's a few others there.
Yeah, there is a few. There's somebody Haver as well, Mike Haver, I think it is.
Uh-huh. And there's also Cheshire Matters.
Cheshire, yes, most definitely, yeah. I mean, but we are we going to change things with this? Hopefully we will do. So where are we going to be in 10 years if we don't change it? And I think it is changing. I really do think it's changing. Slowly, but I think we're getting there.
Well, Cheshire Matters will be remembered because every single piece of any recorded media will always be around in one form or another. And it will always be there and it'll be archived. So the conversations that we're having will be there. Go ahead, Statsman.
I think Trevor's right. I think viewing figures tell the tale, or the way they try and portray them. I think alternative media is definitely taken over. I just don't think the dinosaur media have quite cottoned on yet, or maybe they have, but they've left it too late. But I remember once when the media and the press, they used to get to the bottom of issues, didn't they? For the people and look into things and do some real...
And people would feel that they're actually telling the truth.
Yeah, but now they're just a mouthpiece for the government or whatever woke band of morons are shouting on Twitter the loudest. And as you said,
so you're saying that, you're talking about they're lying either by omission, misinformation, and poor journalistic standards.
Correct.
Which is eroding the public trust in the media.
Yeah. Hence why the likes of us and everybody else has gone off to do their own thing because they can't be trusted anymore.
Yeah. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. I just want to bring up this.
Thank you very much. I know I'm that good. I am AbFab, and I know that.
I'm just like this Nigel Farage thing that's going on just recently.
Well, he won the Trick Awards. We mentioned that last week.
Now he won the Trick Awards, And within days, and if you look at the calendar, look at the timeline, he won the Trick Awards, and within days, his bank was cancelled.
I actually think that he said that had been happening for a couple of months, actually.
It's just the timing of it happening at that time.
We probably knew he was going to win it, so.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, but that's the fact of it, that it happened within a couple of days. It might have been going on for months, but it happened within a couple of days of him winning that trick thing. And he's also put out, I mean, don't forget, he doesn't bank with the likes of We Bank. We doesn't bank with Nationwide or anything like that.
He's with Coots.
He has a private banking system. And they turned around and said, well, your wealth is not sufficient for this.
Yeah, they said it to the BBC. I mean, they were discussing his business affairs with the BBC.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I mean, well, it's the beginning, isn't it? But the point is, this will turn around. Well, I'm sure it's going to turn around.
Well, another point that should be made is how quick it is to get some of this news out and to put it into the public domain. That's the beauty of digital now, and that's the beauty. The beauty of the way that we can actually put stuff out. I mean, because we have quite a big presence on Twitter. We are continually sending out tweets every day, and the tweets are getting views of between a minimum of between 10,000 right up to about 80,000 views, and quite a few likes. And quite simply, platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all the rest of that stuff. And not so much Instagram. All right. Well, let's find out when Elon Musk beats the crap out of Zook. Although Mark will actually say no, he thinks it's going to be the other way around. But
I don't know. I'm just thinking if Zuckerberg's in training now, he's going to be fresh, isn't he?
Well, the same thing.
Musk might be a bit rusty, but then again, he might punch like Mike Tyson. We don't know.
Well, also, he doesn't have to play fair. I mean, if he utilizes some jab street fighting techniques, then Zook is out of the show.
I think if Zook gets him on the ground, though, mate, he'll shine, you know?
Yeah.
Be good to watch, wouldn't it? Well, speaking of sport's part of our...
Yeah, sport is another part of it. What about the people taking the knee?
Well, it's the problem that this is infected as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, literally.
And look at BLM themselves. BLM have been proven, right, to be bankrupt.
Yeah. Again, a bit like the other things we've discussed. It was about the love of the game. Now it's just purely profit-led. And politics and virtue signaling.
That's right. That's it. Why are they doing it? Just play the game.
It's entertaining, yeah. But also, it's not affordable for the working class anymore.
Jeez, when you go to a football match and a pie costs you £4.
Yeah.
You know, that's just disgusting.
Plus the ticket prices and all the memorabilia and the merchandise. But I remember
football shirts costing. How much is a football shirt cost now?
I went into about 70, 80 quid now, John. It's ridiculous. I refuse to pay for them. Remember when we used to talk about the game? So after the football, you spoke about football.
The beautiful game.
It's not now. It's all this other crap, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought at the start of a World Cup, you'd have the commentator or pundits talking about political issues? Oh, do shut up and just talk about
wearing the Alphabet Cruise badges.
Yeah. If they were that bad and offended, just don't go there in the first place. But they went there. They had a little virtue signal, and then it was, we'll just ignore it now and crack on with the football. No, sports has been infected too, and it's a shame, really. But how are we going to fix this?
Well, okay. Well, so what are the potential solutions? You know, for entertainment, it's possible that we could encourage diverse perspectives and narratives in entertainment, showcasing a wide range of cultures, backgrounds, and experiences, but not allowing them to actually be abused. How do you promote, responsible content?
You can't. I'll be honest. I think we just let TV die. It's just woke nonsense now. I think the subscription-based entertainment's on the rise. People can get to pick and choose. So if you don't like something and they've gone woke, just don't fund them and hopefully they'll die. As I said before, viewing figures are down. I don't think there's any way back.
So defunding is the answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, it used to be a big part of our culture growing up, but I think let it die and progress now.
Okay, Trevor?
Totally agree there, Matt. The only way you can do it, by your feet.
Yeah.
You don't
voting with your feet. Yeah.
Don't watch it. Yeah. It's as simple as that. If they're promoting woke, don't watch it. Unfortunately, you're going to lose, your football game. Try to go somewhere that's, to watch it elsewhere that's not promoting woke. woke. Sorry, I mean what you've got these days is you've got two channels that are there doing, which is Talk TV, which is supposedly anti-woke, and you've got CB News, that is basically the Conservative Party on air. For me, that's the way I feel. Yeah. So basically, don't watch CB News and watch.
What you mean,
Talk
GB
TV.
News?
Sorry, we called it CB because it's conservative.
Oh yes,
I know. I just wanted to say.
Just basically turn it off and watch Talk TV as much as you can until they get, more woke, and then don't watch them and watch somewhere else.
So have we got to? So what you're saying is actually defund. That's what you're talking. You're saying defund. Let
them die. I'd say let the dinosaur media die and be replaced, like we said, with alternative sources who are actually going to give people the truth and the full facts. Might be some fake news in there, but people have to do due diligence.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they tried it with Tucker Carlson, didn't they, over in the States, and he came back massive.
Yeah,
and he's doing good. He's doing okay.
I think we could save sport.
Go on.
You're only going to do it by direct action. No other way. No other way. Direct action. If they keep putting petrol prices up, don't use Esso for one day. Then don't use Tesco for one day.
It's the same thing
when
somebody
else. It's as simple as that. They will drop the prices.
And it's exactly what people can do, for example, with the banks. If a bank is really, really downing on somebody, all anybody has to do is just go to that bank and say, we want all our money. And then they do a run on the bank, because everybody knows that these banks do not have good balance sheets. And if they go in and the banks have to pay it out, they cannot refuse you. If you've got money in the bank and you just go in and you just remove all your money and the bank has to pay it, and the bank will absolutely crap themselves. That's where the people
Northern
have
Rock.
the power.
In the 1980s, Northern Rock. That's exactly what happened to them.
Exactly. Go ahead, Stats.
It's going to be tough with sport, trying to get people to vote with their feet. Because I've tried doing it myself when the Premier League and Sky clamped down on showing the 3:00 games, which has destroyed a lot of businesses in this country. I think we're seeing a bit of light, because I think all sport and the governing bodies in sport should ban all political opinions and stick to entertainment.
So you're saying let's separate sports from politics?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Well, then let's get rid of Gary Lineker then, because he's a total. That guy just gets on my nerves.
I think paying respects to the dead may be acceptable, the likes of remembrance things. But I think we've now got to ban this to stop this message being pushed. The people just want to see sport, and it's got to be made affordable for the working classes. And if that means reducing some of these sports stars' wages because they're getting above the station, I think that needs to be done.
The amount of money that these footballers
film,
get is
I don't
unbelievable.
think there's much left. It's got to change eventually, film, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that'll change when the accountants work out that woke does not make a profit. It's actually, if anyone's seen the new Top Gun film, it showed that it's possible to make good films if you stick to good ideas. It's got to be about ideas and storylines. I mean, you look at someone like George Lucas with Star Wars, he had all these stories in his head, and he made plots for the film, and he used...
Yeah, but they were good themes though, Mark.
Films, not just want a message, get it out.
But they were good themes. They were talking about good and evil.
Yeah, but they're based on political agendas now. And I think they need to wake up. But then again, if Hollywood died off, then it's no great loss, is it?
One solution that I think where news and media is concerned, and I'm going to start to wrap this up, is I think we need to get the people engaged in critical thinking. We need the public to start saying, hang on a minute, what's that about? Why is that that way? And questioning, enabling individuals to discern biased or misleading information. That's what I think is needed on that score. And there's, independent journalism. You're quite right. It's got to happen. And diverse media outlets to counteract the influence of conglomerates and encouraging investigative reporting. Go ahead, Mark.
The one that saddens me is still comedy. I used to love comedy. It put you in a good mood. It was great. It made you laugh. Mm-hmm. It's all gone stale now. I think the problem is until people are not afraid to offend people, then comedies can remain unfunny and stale.
Where are the George Carlins?
Exactly. They're too afraid now. But you have got a resurgence here of people who just don't give a damn. So I can see a little bit light for this.
Well, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah. And Dave Chappelle and people like that.
Don't you just love it? He said, I've got nothing against males, who are changing into females. Just do me a favor. Lose the penis.
Yeah, let it play out. And then once the consequences become apparent, because you look at Dave Chappelle and Ricky Gervais, they're the best in the business and everyone wants to go and see them. You look at your left-wing idiots, people are throwing bread rolls at them when they tell jokes about Brexit. So that should pan out. Sad, really. Used to love comedy. It was great in this country.
Yeah, well...
I can't name any at the minute, any sitcoms or any comedy sketches or anything.
Anything.
I've not watched telly for about 10 years. So.
No, I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that. There used to
flick through all them channels, John, like 40, 50 channels, and you'd flick through them 3 times, and then one day I just realised there's no point to this anymore.
So your solution is let them play themselves out so that people actually see the truth. Some
of it, yeah. But then other things like sport and stuff, people, the governing bodies are going to have to come in and put a stop to it before that's destroyed too. And they'll do it because it's all about the money.
Okay, well, I'm calling it there. And also, Steve's not here, so nobody's going to be getting the digital point. I'm not going to call on anybody else to actually do that.
He never gets them anyway, does he?
No, he never gets them. No. And there is no justice for the Raven. Okay? Let him go down to the oubliette and never be seen again. What do you think of that, Trevor?
Super. And all I can say is bring back Benny Hill.
Oh, God, yeah.
That guy was so unpolitically correct. It was great.
That's the problem, isn't it? Been infected with woke. God, do you know what? We need some...
Dave Allen's. We need some Dave Allen's.
Are we ever going to have comedians that good again?
Dave Allen. Exactly, yeah. Dave.
Oh, I used to love him.
You come on and just say, thank God I'm an atheist.
I mean, he's like Jethro, isn't it? I know Jethro's gone now, but I mean, stuff like that, it's so funny. Love thy neighbour and all this stuff. It is so funny.
I know.
Oh, what about Russ Abbott?
For God's sake.
Russ Abbott was good as well.
Bobby Davro, the two Ronnies. It was clever comedy. It wasn't just, I'm going to swear for an hour.
I love it.
Exactly. Yeah, there was not. I mean, Ken Dodd, look at that. He's never sworn in his life. I've never seen for 70 years. I didn't ever see him swear.
No, he never did.
It was so funny. I mean, all right, we can go Benny Hill with a little bit innuendo.
I loved it. I loved that old style comedy. I also loved Bernard Manning. He was the one that actually really got rough to the edge, on certain things. And when he said some things, but he was funny, and he had friends and followers amongst all parts of the community, and they just loved the comedy. So I don't know. Well,
statement, absolute statement. Bernard Manning was one of the most generous people on this planet.
Indeed.
He gave more to charities than you'll ever know.
So, in fine, has popular culture become poisonous?
Yeah.
Is that a yes? Is it driven by materialism?
Yes.
Definitely.
And identity politics?
Definitely.
It's an understatement.
Okay, so we're looking at all of those things. So we're saying, now, are we actually going to say it's up to the people to actually make the decision and start to actually come? Is that what you're saying, Mark?
Some of it, on some of these issues, it's down to your feet, isn't it?
And they've got to make a decision.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, in
don't
that case,
spend your money where you don't want to spend your money.
Well, okay.
Dead simple.
If it doesn't feel right, it isn't right. It's as simple as that. Well, in that case, then, I'm going to call it there. There you go. There's the music. And we will have music to say goodbye to. So,
I love that music. Who wrote that, Jonathan, by a matter of chance?
just happens to be some fabulous man called Abfab.
And it just happens that I was there when you wrote that.
That's right. That's right.
Second, I was watching you.
Quite simply, call me Tina. And the best.
Tina, who wrote that music?
Jonathan.
And I'll just have you know that it's got what's my title there? Trevor Nichols, Warrington North.
That's the one.
Oh, Warrington North, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is media being influenced straight away.
Well,
we know what your style
is.
is.
Warrington people, please, thank you.
All right. Okay. Statsman, say goodbye. It was another
Goodbye,
great special.
everyone.
Good discussion.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure again.
Indeed. Well, that's a good night from everybody.
Can we save our country? Yes, we can. Can we
Yeah.
reverse it? Yes, we can.
And
Trevor
then we take the
Nichols is the
potatoes
man.
and we smash them all to bits. And then they mash them.
Especially that raven.
Yes.
His new seagull friend.
Oh God! Now, wasn't it great that seagull would actually take the money? That was so superb. You know, we need you to attack the raven.